It's been a while. I know. What is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you and yours is doing well in these challenging times. Today's topic is letting go of creativity in favor of business. So I guess the natural progression of any photographer is to...
Here's what I found.
I guess the natural progression of any photographer, as you delve deeper and deeper into your passion, is to make money, right? Like, this gear's not cheap. And I think if you let us as photographers, we'll buy every camera, every lens, every focal length, every bit of accessory and kit. And really, you know, this is not about gas or gear acquisition syndrome. This is about the natural path you go. And as you acquire all of these things, and then you look back at your bank account and you look at your gear section or corner or wherever you keep your stuff, you sort of realize, like, you know what? I think I went off the deep end. I got to get some of this money back, right? But that's just one aspect of it. As you really hone your skills as a portrait photographer, the natural progression is to charge for it, right? As you hone your skills as a landscape photographer, you kind of want to delve into the fine art world, and you have these aspirations to sell your favorite image, your favorite shot, your favorite moment for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and join the Trey Ratcliffe Club. And you know, it's totally natural. And I find myself going down that route. In fact, in the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years since I last spoke to you, I've been investing heavily in that route, in that direction. And the investing part is not a monetary thing. Interestingly enough, we'll get into that. It's a time, it's an energy, it's a research thing. It's a full commitment to pulling yourself out of your comfort zone, because as you leave the creative space behind, the business world is no joke. And I find that the two are oftentimes not parallel, they're not interchangeable, they're counterintuitive to each other, and it takes quite a bit of conditioning, research, and practice to make the two mesh together. And as you progress along the business world, the business aspect, I find that it's less about meshing and more about letting go my creativity. And I think it soothes a problem that I thought I would have. As I become more of a business professional in the photography world, I worried about losing my passion for photography. Passion and creativity are usually joined together at the hip. And I was scared. I was very leery of, well, if I'm going to be working X amount of hours on professional gigs, am I going to be too tired to then take up my camera and then go outside and do some street work or some fun portrait work or some landscape work, macro work, you know, whatever that may be? And I'm happy to report, no. I didn't lose the passion. I lost the time, and I'm okay with that, right? Because like anything we do in life, time management is important. And I think it's especially important when you're looking at running your business versus detaching from that business and really allotting yourself some creativity time to work on personal projects. So I'm happy to report back on that. But today's topic really is about letting go of the creative side of yourself as a photographer and behind a lens, and embracing the business side, which has almost nothing to do with you as a photographer or behind the lens. So before I get into these very key areas that I've identified in this video, I want to present you with an analogy. Wherever you live, wherever you may be, there is always a restaurant that you've tried. Either you saw it on Google or it's been recommended to you by friends and family, and you get there, or maybe you just walked into it one day, like whatever, and you get there and the service sucks, right? Experience as a customer and service is really tied to the product, and maybe the food wasn't that bad or isn't that bad, but because the service was so bad, you get in there and the person behind the counter is on their phone or they're talking personal business with another employee, whatever it is, it just rubbed you the wrong way. And then you get the food and you know, for that terrible service, this food really ain't that great. And this scales up or down, right? The food could have been amazing, but I don't feel like dealing with the terrible service today. The reality is, even though the service sucks, that restaurant is still a profitable business, right? I know it's a trippy thing to wrap your head around. Even though, let's say the food sucked, it's still a profitable business. And you look at yourself and you how the hell is this place still in business with terrible service or terrible food? It don't matter. People go there, they know the food is terrible. They know the service is shitty. Like, it doesn't matter, like whatever. I'm not coming in here to expect a certain level. I'm hungry. I want to spend some money and I want to get home and get something to eat, right? Totally acceptable. And they've been in business for X amount of years. And the owner of this restaurant knows that the service is terrible. And you better believe, from a business aspect, they made that decision a long time ago. To improve the service, I gotta hire someone at $2 or $3 more an hour. I'm not willing to have that undercut the bottom line, so I'm fine. Let the high school kids man the cashier or the cash wrap. Or, you know, in order for the food to get better, I need to invest X amount of dollars to buy better quality product or meats or whatever it is, or hire a better cook or chef, whatever it is. They're aware of this, but they didn't. And that doesn't mean that it's any less of a profitable business than your preferred restaurant with better service or tip-top service or tip-top food. Interesting. When I went down this rabbit hole of, can I be a good professional photographer, I started to beat myself up about certain things. Well, are my images sharp enough? Is my camera, my Sony a7 II, which is many years old at this point, can that provide the best images possible? Is my editing style up to snuff? Are my images moody enough, or am I making my subjects look plastic enough to compete with the filters that they're used to on their phones? There's all these insecurities I had to deal with, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how I critique or view myself. The fact is, it's still gonna be a profitable business. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't always strive to deliver better images, better customer service, better image quality, or even the way I deliver the images. Doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean I'm not looking at a Sony a7 IV or 3 or whatever the hell they're at these days, which lets you know where I am, because you guys know that I do enjoy some gear acquisition system syndrome. I do enjoy being a geartographer and looking at the latest and greatest. But if I keep spending $2,000 every year to upgrade to the latest and greatest camera, where's my profit margin as a business? You know what I mean? And let's take that analogy, let's take it back to the analogy of a restaurant. If I keep hiring the best concierge in town just to make people feel like Welcome to Ramon's Restaurant, and here we do X, Y, and Z. Where's my profit margin? I can totally exist outside of that and make a profit. Realizing that has allowed me to get out of my way, get out of my head, and just do what I do. And I challenge you guys, head over to my professional photography portfolio, RamonTrotman.studio. Take a look at what I've done. And I made this path with myself. All this gear and all this cameras and all this knowledge that I have, if I can't knock out decent images, I'm in the wrong field. There's something flying around in here. I shouldn't need to have the latest and greatest full frame camera to deliver perfectly sharp images. It's not a prerequisite. I have a full frame camera, and even that's not prerequisite. Things I've learned as a professional photographer, it's all about presentation. It's all about marketing. How you are perceived goes a long way to your clients. Now remember, there's the Acuras of the world. You know, Acura, if you're a car guy, you know an Acura is just a tick up in quality of a Honda. And Acura doesn't want you to know that. They're selling themselves as a luxury experience. And maybe it is. Maybe it is. But at the end of it, those parts say Honda on it. You know what I mean? It's a rebadged Honda. And people who love Acura, they don't care. All they know is it's comparable to the other luxury cars on the market, and there is a lot of reliability, and that comes from the Honda side. So there's a lot of credence to presentation, as long as you find ways to back it and make sure you're doing your due diligence on the end. So don't fake it before you make it, but fake it before you make it, right? So if faking it before you make it means, hey, my name is Ramon Trotman. I'm a professional photographer. I've been a photographer for 7 years. It's not a lie. I have been a photographer for 7 years, maybe even longer, but I haven't been a professional photographer for more than 2 years. But I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say I've been a photographer for 7 years. And the context of which these people on my website are reading this are on my professional website, which means they're on a portfolio. They can see the quality of my work. So there's no reason for them to think, well, he didn't say he has been a professional photographer for 7 years. He only said he was a photographer. I don't like this guy. I'm out of here. It's not how it works. It's all about presentation. It's all about marketing, right? And more towards the presentation part, it's all about your website. Making sure that your website is nicely flushed out. It's not what I do here. I'm not telling you how to build your website. There's a million tutorials on YouTube about how you should build your portfolio and your website as a professional photographer. And there's a ton of courses you can go and get. You can even, you know, if you land on Squarespace or Wix, mine's personally on Wix, themselves, these platforms has got a million outlets for you to really figure out what it is you should be doing and how to effectively build these things out. So I'm not going to delve into that rabbit hole today, but making sure that your portfolio is well presentable and relatable, the way you describe your services, the way you describe yourself, these things all add to the fake it before you make it. The way you deliver images to your clients. So I per se pay $500 something a year for a service called PicTime, and I thought it was worth the investment because when I deliver images to my client, it doesn't matter how dope those images are. If I'm sending them a OneDrive link, a Google Drive link, a Dropbox link, and they're just downloading files, and it's not a great experience. PicTime allows me to curate a gallery. It allows me to display the images in a well thought out grid and show the beauty of it. And then the clients can say, select all and download, right? It allows me to create ahead of time some prints at certain prices, some albums. So if the client says, wow, these are amazing, I wonder what it would be like to print them. Or let me go and print it. They don't have to do that. There's all there in a gallery that says made for you. And I curated some metal prints or some photo books that they can print right away. You know, this all goes into that proper way to fake it before you make it, but it goes into the presentation and all of these things together. Even my Instagram, I'm very thoughtful. I don't have a million followers on my professional Instagram account, and it's Ramon Trotman Studio, because I don't care about Instagram anymore as a professional photographer. And to be honest, I don't care about Instagram as a creative photographer anymore. You know, that's probably a good topic that I should tackle. And I think a lot of other photographers are feeling that way recently. But nonetheless, I'm very careful about the images that I put on there. I only put the hero images from my events and my engagement sessions and whatnot. So this entire package and presentation together allows my client to feel like I can bang with the best of them. Presentation. It's all about presentation. Another point that I have come to understand quite a bit on the business aspect, and business in general, it's about consistency. And when you think of creativity versus consistency, those two really don't get along. And what I mean in context of this conversation is when I do an event, you know, so event photography, or it's a birthday party, or, you know, an engagement, a dinner, whatever the event is, it has to be consistent in a few different ways. Number one, I'm using one camera. You guys know me, and if you don't, I have many different cameras because I'm an enthusiast of cameras, and I enjoy what Sony brings to the table, what Fuji brings to the table, what Panasonic or Olympus brings to the table, Canon. I enjoy and I own all of these different cameras. But when it comes down to event photography, I want one tool for that job, one tool for that one event, or for that one category, which is events. And that's often my Sony a7 IV. I wish. My Sony a7 II with my old A mount 28-75 2.8. You can consider that G Master before G Master existed. So it's an old lens it's an old camera with an even older lens, but the results are stunning. And the reason I choose the Sony over something like my Olympus or my Fuji, it's full frame, and I want all the data I can capture from that big sensor. And, you know, my Sony's got some very real shortcomings, like the focus system sucks in low light. And the way I get around that is the speed light that I shoot. I keep the infrared beam on so it helps it focus. So yeah, that one kit is what I will always and forever do when it comes to events. And what that means for me is I know the speed light in and out. I know the settings that I'm going to use for event are probably going to be at, maybe I'll be on auto ISO anywhere from 200 to like 800. I'm going to be on a shutter speed anywhere from 1/25th to 1/60th of a second. And I'm going to be at f4. And my flash is, you know, the flash varies based on the room size or how many people I'm doing in the group. Nonetheless, I know these settings like the back of my hand. They never change. You know, they very rarely change while I'm shooting on site. And that means from that specific camera choice, camera and lens combination, to those specific camera settings and flash settings, When I get home in Lightroom, I know exactly how to edit. I know exactly what to change and where to change to get the desired result that I want. And most times when I get home in Lightroom, I just hit the auto button and I'm out of there. That's how good, that's how consistent or consistency has allowed me to become as a professional photographer and a business owner. Because I can tell you, I shoot events anywhere from 2 to 4 hours is usually where most clients land. So I know how long it's going to take me to edit per image. I know how much images they can expect per hour, which is usually, let's call it like 40 to 70 images per hour at an event. I know how much time I'm going to spend editing that stuff. I know how much time it's going to take for me to deliver the images to the client. So now I know the expectation to set on my website when I say you can expect your images in 5 to 7 business days, which is totally acceptable. Meanwhile, those images are done within 2 to 3 business days. But it gives me time now, another day or two, to curate the gallery on PicTime and offer some specific images that they can buy for print. Like, there's all these things that I can do between being at the event, using the equipment at the event, and delivering the images a week later. And that's all thanks to the consistency. What am I getting at here? When I'm a creative photographer, I don't know, I'm going out and I'm shooting portraits of a model or whomever. You know, today I might shoot wide open at 1.8. I might grab my my Olympus with that 45, which is an 85 millimeter equivalent, and I'll shoot it wide open, and I'm gonna shoot high speed sync so I can give the skin a nice glossy look and it'll look like golden hour. Tomorrow, we'll do some environmental portraits. I'm gonna do 5.6 to make sure I get a context of the background, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of flash to accentuate the background. None of this stuff is applicable as a professional photographer, right? And even if I take that particular situation and apply it to my engagement shoots, I don't shoot engagement shoots wide open at 1.8. I'm not messing around. I shoot them at maybe 3.2, maybe 5, mostly 5.6 if you'll let me, because I'm already shooting with an 85 millimeter lens, right? I've already got great depth of field out the gate. I've already got great compression. I need to be able to see details. I want to see earrings in focus. I want to see the ring when she's touching the bride's heart on focus, right? So like, there's a very succinct difference between how I approach what I'm doing as a creative and how I approach it as a professional. And along the context of this video, it takes a lot of time to develop and understand the sense of what you need to let go and how creative thinking really is a hindrance to your business. The final piece that I've noticed and I've had to learn when transitioning from a creative to a business, a photography business, communication is key. So as a creative photographer, we hold a lot of things close to the vest. We don't communicate what we're doing, what we're working on. We don't share, for whatever reason. I don't mind, but a lot of people don't. They don't share camera settings and locations, whatever. When you are becoming a business photographer, communication to your client is everything. It sets the expectation. It allows your client to feel the fact that you know what you're doing and you understand what they want and that you'll deliver these images, these final products, no matter what. It's all about communication. For instance, when you go to my website, I've got my price packages built out by the hour, and that's really to give my clients some flexibility. Maybe you find that my prices are a bit high, but you love the work. Well, then maybe you don't book the 2-hour session. Maybe you only book a 45-minute session. And trust me that I've already done the work, and I can make sure that you get various amounts of looks in a complete photo session within 45 minutes. And to be honest, I go the extra mile and I educate my clients. Most of the time, you guys don't need a 2-hour shoot. You only need a 2-hour shoot when you're planning on changing outfits. But like, people think, oh, we're doing a photo session, we're gonna be out all day. Like, fam, I can get what you need in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? If you're photogenic and you take direction well, we'll be out of there quick as hell, right? And it's about these communications, because when we're on site and the client is vibing and she or he or they or them are taking great direction, half an hour goes by and I was just like, yo, we're good. We're good. Because me as a business owner, I've got...
Learning how to choose the right audio apps for you. Which one do you want to use?
Me as a business owner, I've already done the research. I've already there's 10 different poses, and I want to hit 5 of these 10 poses on site. And I want to make sure that you have not only different looks, different poses, different variations of those poses. And as long as we connect, you and I connect as a client photographer, you'll be surprised at how fast we'll chew through those, right? And how many keepers we have. And I get my clients, I need my clients to understand, you're relying on me that these images are sharp. And I don't need to say, oh man, oof, can we shoot this again? Like, I mean, it happens, but like, this is the reason, going back to consistency and settings, I don't shoot wide open. I'm shooting at 5.6. So the little changes in degrees that people make and changing different poses, it's in focus. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I use back button focus. So once I hit that back button focus, the next 5 to 10 images, I don't need to focus again. And I'm shooting at 5.6 to accommodate for these type of things. And I'm communicating this in a very layman's term, not in a technical photographer term, but I'm communicating this to my client because I want them to feel comforted. I want them to understand that I got it. Yo, you good. Don't worry. All you need to do is connect with me, pay attention to me, be yourself, smile. Let's rock out. Communication after the shoot. Hey, just touching base with you a day later. I'm working on the images. I got you. I'm going through some of them. Yo, they look great. They look great. If you want to, I personally don't, but if you want to, you can send them a preview. Boom. Get them excited. You know what I mean? So communication is a very big deal. And coming from the creative side of a camera to a business side, I know a lot of photographers can be introverts and we don't like to talk, but you really got to talk to your clients. You got to, on site, you got to, oh man, I don't really like the lighting here. Be transparent. Let's go over here. Let's go over there. It doesn't, my insecurities about communicating were, well, if I say I don't like this lighting, am I giving off the vibes that I don't know what I'm doing? Or I chose the wrong location, or I don't understand how my camera works, or my flash isn't sufficient enough, or my equipment isn't new enough? No, I'm just communicating to the client, this isn't panning out the way we want to, but I got it. Let's go over here. That confidence, exude that communication, that open line of transparency. And again, in all things, business-client relationship is a relationship. And if you're like me, I'm big on relationships in life. Communication is the cornerstone. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long road for me. Some angst about delving into the business world. What does that mean for my creative side? And I'm happy to say that even though I lose a lot of the time that I would have allocated to creative work, I am enjoying the business aspect of it. I am getting booked a lot. I do enjoy the feedback I get from clients. I can't tell you how warm it feels when I see a Google review come in, these long scathing reviews, and it's just like, wow, people really trust me with their moments and their memories. And that's really a handoff from my creative side, right? Like, as a creative photographer, all I want to do is capture these dope moments and memories and these snapshots in life that when you look at it, you go, wow, that really was a meaningful time in history or point in time. And I found a way to make a business around that. And I'm super happy that it's been successful so far. I'm super happy that I'm learning these lessons about business, about perspective on business, that, you know, let's just say I'm sitting in front of you with my testimony about how great it's going. But let's just say you check my website and you go, oh, this work is terrible. My clients are still here. You know what I mean? I'm finally starting to get some real money to recuperate all the thousands of dollars of gear. And hopefully one day, you know, the money will go towards contributing to my household. And then hopefully one day I can make the decision, you know, I'll give up at this point, I've been an IT professional for 25 years. Maybe I can walk away from that. I'll give up one passion, because technology is a passion of mine. Give up one passion for another. And now I'm a business owner and I move on my time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm proud of myself that I've been able to arrive here. I'm happy to have my wife, and she's really, because she's done this in her own world, in her own aspects. And it's a very joyous time, you know, outside of the hard work. And I always say, I don't mind the hard work. Even in the creative side, I've put my 10,000 hours in. You guys go back. If you're new here, you know, I encourage you to go back and look at some of my catalog on this channel. I've done the hard work. You know, I've left the office after 8, 10, 12 hours of work and walk from Midtown Manhattan to downtown Manhattan doing street photography 4 days a week. You know, I've done all of that out in the snow and the rain, shooting, capturing the images, dealing with jackass people on Instagram to get models together to figure out how I should pose people for portraits. I've done all of that. And then I took it even further, and now I've done it to the fact where I can apply some consistency to it and put a dollar amount to it and be able to sit here on this couch and approach you with confidence about it. It's kind of dope. It's kind of dope. So much so that I think it's a natural progression. I think it's a natural progression I would want to share with any of you. And I would love to open the conversation in the comments of, you know, any of that angst or insecurities you're having about, can I do that? Am I capable of doing that? I would love to have that conversation with all of you, because this is what this channel is. As I learn, I report back and open the conversation for you guys. And it's totally doable. And like anything in life, it's just nice to achieve the unachievable, something you didn't think you could do, right? And it's just a dope place to be. So yeah, bit of a long video, but these are my thoughts on letting go of the creative side in order to establish a business. And, you know, maybe in a few more, what is this thing flying around? I'm going to get you when I'm done here. Maybe in a few more months, because I've got a lot of topics following this. I'll come back and we'll explore this topic from a very interchangeable perspective, which is how letting go of creativity to establish a business has allowed me to learn certain things in my business that will then help my creativity, because there is a lot of things, interestingly enough. But anyway, my name is Ramon. Thank you so much for watching this video, stopping by this channel. It's been a tough time during the pandemic for all of us, and I'm happy to be here to share these thoughts with you after such a tumultuous time, and just emerging from the ashes, moving forward. And I look forward to really conversing with you in the future. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell, because Lord knows you'll never see these videos if you're not hitting the bell. And maybe don't hit the bell if you hit too many bells, and you just come back and check your boy out. I'm here. I'm back. I'm out of here. Peace.